Hello everybody, welcome back. It's Joey again. You're watching VegasDtech. We're back out here at the entrance of Lake Mead with another investigative report. Today we're going to be taking a look at the Three Kits mine. You know, that pit's been out here since the 50s and 60s, and that was a deep pit. I have some actual footage of me and Maria in 2023 actually going out to that open pit and going all the way down to the bottom, and my God, guys, it was filled with cars and boats and literally thousands of tires and stuff. Some guests came into my restaurant and told me that things have changed out here and that they've completely wiped this area clean, which I knew at some point they were going to have to, because all of these areas behind me here, the residences have moved right in, and these are $1 million homes that are right behind me here, and their view is going to be that garbage. And nobody wants to see that, but that is going to be a monumental task to fill in that crater of a pit. And today we're out here, we're going to be taking a look at this operation right here to see just how far they've come, what they're actually doing back there. We're going to use some Google Earth maps to take a look, see what it is, take a look at some older footage of me and Maria going down in that pit. So I'm going to send up the drone. We're going to go ahead and take a bird's eye view of the operation, see what they're doing. Then we'll get back out here, we'll wrap it up, we'll talk about it. So let's get to it, guys. So let's take a look here, 2D, where we're at. Let me get a perspective of where we're at. Okay, so Las Vegas, right here, Henderson, okay? This is Lake Mead. This is going to be our entry point, and our topic of interest today is going to be right in this area. Right in here. This is Lake Las Vegas. This is the wash where all the water in Las Vegas runs in to Lake Las Vegas, and it also runs out of Las Vegas, and it comes to the wash and it filters back into Lake Mead. Now, right in this area right here, you could see all these homes. Celine Dion has a house out here. These are multi-million-dollar homes, got its own little private little ponds and waters and so forth, and they're already building all. These are like mountain peaks, right? You can see here they've already started building all around these areas, and they're taking down all these mountain peaks so they can start building homes. Now, they have already got some houses built here, but what they've done here is that they've made sure that the view is facing towards the lake and not over here, okay? The problem here is we've already got some plotted lands already sold. Look at all these plots, right? These are all housing plots, ready to go, roads in between. And the issue is they have not built on it yet. They have all the houses here facing that way. And then they've built these houses over here facing that way and that way. And they've got like this mountain still blocking it. And the reason for that is because while these are ready to go, they can't build on it, and the developers don't want to build on it until they can get this taken care of right here. Okay, from the air this doesn't look like much, but guys, this is the remnants of the Three Kits mining operation. We'll go to 3D and you can see here, guys, look at that pit, right? That pit was filled with manganese. That was the operation during the war for ammunitions. They needed to be able to pull manganese out of this pit. There was some lead, arsenic, all those things. This is the refining towers where all of the resources that were pulled were refined and held in here. And I believe at one point there might have even been a railroad track that came by to load this stuff up and move it away. But this is what's left over on it right now. Normally, people would come out here and they'd park their cars along here, and you could just come in like right in here. People like it's open. You could just drive through here, and it's just turned into be an apocalyptic wasteland. You know, just nothing but trash and rubble. You can get in here a little bit closer. This stuff right here was like a deep little pit. Like it looks like, see these little holes here? It looked like right here, these were plugs in the center of these guys here. So when they filled up and they drained them somehow, it looked like some of this stuff would just fall through here and just flow right into this. And yeah, I went out there. I'll show you some footage of me and Maria going out into these areas. But this is just what's left over, and it just looks like a Skid Row in the middle of the desert. You know, bottles and trash and crap all over the place. And this, like I said, is directly across the street from these multi-million-dollar homes. And it's just, I'm mad, like, it's like 1 mile right here. And take a look. We're here at the entrance of Lake Mead. So this is the fee station to come into Lake Mead, which is just right down the street from where they're building, right? And so what I want to do is, I have some footage of me and Maria. We actually went down into the bottom of this pit. We came in like right about here. We walked through. We came in through here, and we just worked our way all the way down. There was like a little landslide situation right here, but they had some like ropes or something like that to come down, and we just worked our way all the way down to the bottom. Since it was open, and we wanted to see what was down there, because I mean, you could just see right here. There's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's more than that. 6. There's like 7, 8 boats or something like this. And there was cars down at the bottom. I think there was like a Beetle, a Fiero, and all along the sides here, there's cars. There was a Volkswagen bus right there. And multiple cars. I mean, just a bunch of junk cars. Must be stolen. I mean, who would throw their car over the side of a pit like this? But nevertheless, that's where they went to dispose of all their crap. And we went out there to take a look at it, and I was told by some guests that all of this stuff has been cleared. And I knew that they were going to have to do this at some point, because the neighborhoods have moved right in, but they kind of did it kind of late. You know what I mean? Because, like, look, homes are right here, guys. Now, the problem that I was seeing out here when I came out, I had friends at the geology department of UNLV, and they gave me a little bit of background. I said, where's all of the stuff that came out of these pits? Because this is like 3 sisters mine, and that's 3 kids mine. And all of the stuff that you see right here, these are tailings. So the dump trucks would continue to come out and just dump them. And you could just see these are mounds of tailings. All of this crap is going to have to be removed, but because it has trace elements of lead, arsenic, and manganese in them, how they remove this or move it is going to generate a lot of dust. And when the wind blows it, it's going to blow it into these neighborhoods, into these residential areas, into the homes, creating a potential health hazard. So at some point, I knew that Henderson, Las Vegas would have to figure this thing out, and they waited, because we went out there in 2023. So it's 2 years ago, and they're saying right now they have an operation. They have a major operation going on right now to fill this pit in, and I'm gonna go back out there with the drone and see just exactly how that operation looks. But here's some footage of me and Maria back in 2023 visiting this area and this pit. Alrighty, guys, so this footage right here is a video that I made back in 2023 when Maria and I came out to first take a look at this mine. I happened to catch it on Google Earth, and I was like amazed at what it looked like. And I was like, hey, man, this is on the way to Lake Mead. We pass it all the time. Nobody even knows that it's out here because there's a berm, and you don't see it from the street. Not at street level. You have to be up on a hill. And so her and I came out here to take a look at this place, and man, let me tell you, it was an eye-opener to me that all this stuff was even out here. I was like, what is all this crazy crap? But I can see now, man, I'm just showing you just how much stuff was on the ground out here. That these are what's left over of the tanks. They left the rings out here, the metal rings, and you could just see just piles and piles of trash. Most of this stuff here is all because of cans for the graffiti. Somebody just came out here and did all kinds of crazy graffiti. And then here's the pit towers that I was telling you, where everything dumps into one. That was kind of eerie looking into that. I mean, I was scared I was going to fall over. And looking down in there, I have no idea what that. I'm pretty sure that's groundwater and rainwater that's combined. And you could just see those little teeny squares right there are the chutes that come from each tank, and the tank can release into this. So this probably has some type of a drainage system that goes somewhere else. What lies beneath our feet, I have no idea, but I wanted to move on. So let me just move you through this maze right here. And the one thing I wanted to show you out here was this stuff right here. Look at how close it is to Las Vegas, right here, guys. I just did a little bit of zoom, but right there is the strip. You know what I'm saying? I mean, right there, guys. And look, you got mobile homes and stuff right in front of it. And, you know, you got Mount Charleston right behind it. But yeah, it's literally right here. And this stuff is just sitting in the desert. Now, it used to be like 30 miles or so outside of town, but it's just right in front of you. And just look at this crazy stuff. I'm fearful that, you know, of falling into that. I'm going to speed this thing up. And the pit, the actual mining pit, is just right up over this hill over here. And take a look at the artwork on this, man. This thing is huge. It looks like a big UFO. So we're just going to walk up here real quick. And before you know it, man, boom, we are on it. You know what I mean? There's no, I didn't see any fencing or anything on this, which I was like, wow, man. I was like, look at how deep this thing is. And, you know, and there was people actually going in and out of this thing. Little kids. And I was like, little teeny kids are going in and out of this thing. I'm like, and parents are like bringing their kids into this place? This is crazy. But then I looked over there. I was like, oh my God, dude, there's cars, boats, and all kinds of crazy trash down in the bottom. And coming up top here, I was like, what is all this stuff here? I thought they were busted pipes, but they're not even made out of steel. They're made out of like pottery or something like that. But they're pipes, you know, and they're just strewn all about the ground, just scattered all over the place. But coming out here, guys, I don't know who drew all this stuff right here, but my God, they got to have a bird's eye perspective to get this thing. If you ever take a look at Google Earth and you look down at this back in 2023, somebody came out here and made like a big roulette wheel and painted this thing like a big old roulette wheel. And some of the artwork is pretty amazing, to be honest with you, but it just felt weird coming out here. You ready for it, hon?
Come on.
Oh, come on. Are you scared?
No.
You're really not scared of that?
As long as you follow the trail.
Okay. And I was like, okay, I'll follow you. But just take a look at it, guys. So we came in on the upper ring, and I'm just like looking over the edge right here. I'm like, man, I do not want to fall down this thing. This thing right here had like a little bit of an avalanche fall in. Somebody resurrected this, you know, these pipes and this cable to let you pass this thing safely. On the left-hand side, if you look up, you're going to actually see how this thing had like a landslide and kind of like blocked that way to where nobody could come in to this pit. But it was pretty treacherous, you know, but Maria was a warrior, man. She wanted to get through it. You know, she likes it. And then we rolled onto our first car. I didn't know what it was. It looked like some, you know, late 60s, early 70s that was just, you know, thrown over the side. And I was like, you know, why would people throw cars over the side, man? Were they stolen or whatever? I don't know. But this one here also had target practice, full of holes back when you could just come out here and just shoot bullets. You know, this was far enough out of town that you could just come out here and just shoot guns all you want. But right now you can't do any of that. Second car we came across, more of the same. Stuff's been out here for a long time. You could just see all the rust. Trying to identify what kind of a car it was kind of fun and challenging. And all along the rings, you'll just find these cars just scattered all along. I think this was like our fifth or sixth car that we saw down there. You can just take a look at the frame. It's a solid frame, so you know those are the old school cars. And still working our way down. And we're on our top ring, and then we start seeing boats. Here's some remnants of some fiberglass boats over here. And it was funny because right on the side here it says established 12/10/12. So, or was that 12/10/1 or something? I don't know what the hell the date was, but the dates are stamped on the side of this here. So it's been out there since I think the thing said 2001. Then I came upon this thing right here, man. I looked at the engine. I'm like, wait a minute, man. This is a Fiero, because I know that this thing right here has that engine mounted behind your head. It was either a Fiero or a TR7 or something like that. But it was just interesting to look over there and find some of these old vintage cars. And once again, more boats laid all about. And interesting stuff they have spray painted over the side. I try to read it and try to find out what the hell are these people saying. You know, I always try to look for registration decals on here to see what year the vehicles or the boats are, to try to give me an idea how long this stuff has been out here. But like I said, as we just kept going down, just more and more cars, more and more boats staggered all the way down. And I think we're two rings down from the bottom right now. And I found me a Volkswagen bus down here. It was just down here with about 100 tires. Sorry about that, guys. I didn't know that was going to pop up. But anyways, we're almost down at the bottom. Maria almost fell down there. Here we are. So we're actually wandering down towards the bottom. And yeah, let's get on down here. It's starting to feel really cold down here. And I'm starting to get that eerie feeling in a deep hole. I thought that was kind of funny. Absolutely, we're in a deep hole. And here we are, guys, down at the very bottom of this place. And dude, it felt spooky, guys. Just standing down there, I felt like I was on another planet. I mean, God, we're down literally like 400 or 500 feet at the very bottom of this mine, and it's just like it's strewn with barrels. I don't know what the hell's in those barrels, man, but it just felt like a cemetery of abandonment, and once I was down there for a while, I was like, okay, I've had enough. I've looked around, I've seen enough down here, and I was like, I don't know what's in these barrels, if there's anything toxic, but I really wanted to get out of here. So once we were at the top again, my spirit and my will to live came back, and I was like, yeah, man, I can't believe I actually had the courage to go back down there. And I'm just glad to be out here and back up at the top. Alrighty, guys, so it looks like we're coming up onto the spot right now. I'm going to try to hide in broad view. Not that we have to hide or anything, but people get kind of nervous when you are out here filming or whatever. People just don't like it, and they tend to ask a lot of crazy questions. So I'm just gonna come up here. I mean, there's nothing that says you can't film out here, so I'm gonna go ahead and do my filming. The actual pit is gonna be out that way. I'm gonna go ahead and set up the drone and send her out that way and see what's going on here, because right now they've got these berms set up through here, and they're kind of high, and there's signs all along it saying no trespassing, nobody's allowed inside. Yeah, so I just seen a supervisor drive by. They've got these berms set up out here. It's high enough to where you can't really see what's going on the other side, and there's signs sitting out there saying no trespassing, whatever. I'm pretty sure they don't want anybody up in that area. We used to be able to walk back in there, but now that they're doing all this construction and clearing out, nobody wants to be, they don't want nobody back that way. But if we look back that way, you can see they're already doing the real estate. The plots and the roads are back there, and they definitely don't want to see all that garbage that was out that way. But we're going to go ahead and set the drone up. I'm going to send her up and send her out and see what it looks like on the other side of this berm. Alrighty, guys, so we're set up. I'm inside the car, and I'm controlling the drone from inside the car. Didn't want to raise too much, interest and suspicion if, supervisors are in their cars driving back and forth, taking a look, and, they have a guy out there sitting in the car right out in front of the construction site, like, what's he doing? So I just went ahead and shot the drone up, and we're going to come straight over to where the rings were. So directly below me right now are exactly where those rings were that I took you on. And all that's really left, they took the rings, but they left those those dump pits. It looks like the dump pits are still down there. Maybe there's tunnels underneath the dump pits, and they're not able to just fill it in. It's got to be done correctly. But guys, that's the mine. That's the pit right there. The vanishing pit. They were right about this, man. Look at this. That's like 500 or 600 feet deep, man. And look, it's almost damn near filled all the way up to the top. But I could see the process of how they're actually doing it. It looks like they're using 3 types of trucks. One truck will actually be loaded with the material to come in, and they will bring it on in and dump it. And then another truck will come back behind it with the water, and that truck will wet it down. You can just see the little teeny spots over there that looks like little mounds. And then another truck will come back over there, and he will wet it all down, make it nice and damp, keep the dust from going everywhere. And then the third vehicle will come out there, the scraper truck will come on top of it, compact it, and scrape it flat. And that process will go on over and over and over again. I see that octagon right there. That's that dump pit where all of the tanks were releasing through chutes and dropping. It looks like the plugs in the center of the tanks are still there. And then the octagons or the actual dump chutes empty into that. I don't know if there's tunnels underneath all of this stuff, man, I can only speculate. They have like a water reservoir over here that they've filled with water to keep the trucks filled up, the water trucks at least, to keep water. That water is going to be such a key and important factor at minimizing the dust, because like I was telling you, I had friends that were going to UNLV in the geology department, and they were able to give me a report about this mine and what they were, mining out of it, and what were in the tailings, basically all the stuff that they were pulling out of it and piling away. And there was trace elements of lead, manganese, and even arsenic was detected in those tailings. So water is going to be a key factor here, and there's some strict codes as to how to keep that dust down to mitigate any of this stuff blowing over into the residencies located right across the street. So water is going to be a very huge and key factor here at keeping this ground very, very damp. And the operation is serious, man. I mean, I don't know. I mean, right down the way over there, I literally think that I saw like either 50 or 60 full-size Caterpillar, vehicles parked on the right, and on the left side there was like a fleet of dump trucks, man. Back over there parked at the very upper left-hand corner, you got fleets of those super heavy hauling dump trucks that were over there. And this operation, who knows how long it's been going on here, but like I said, we were out here in 2023. How long did it actually take them to fill this thing up? Because I think what they did was they just drove those rings, they cut those rings, and they brought these things, brought the dump trucks all the way down to the bottom and started filling it from the bottom, and started moving the material down there and flattening it, and then just kept coming up the rings, filling each layer till they're at the top. And I think it looks like they're roughly 2 rings from the very top. And once again, we'll come back around and I'll give you a little bit of shots of the rings that I was at. And like I said, all I see left here are the octagons of, there has to be some tunneling and piping underneath this right here. And I don't know what they're going to do. I don't know. I mean, they flattened it. What they've done is they've removed all the crap and all the trash that were on the very truck, on the very top. Take a look. You can see all the big, heavy dump vehicles that are up there in that parking area. But like I was saying here, what they've done on this area where the rings were that they just went ahead and removed all the trash. And there was so much trash out here, guys. It's unbelievable the amount of trash. It had to have taken them a good 6 months just to scoop up all the trash, break the rings down, and transport all that trash out of here. And they still got to figure out what are they going to do with the plugs and the tunnels or the piping that are underneath those tanks. But as you can see, they've done a wonderful job at filling up this pit. I didn't want to run over to the Three Daughters mine. I'm pretty sure if they did this to 3 kids, the Three Daughters is pretty much the same way. The operation stretches all the way back over to the other area. But I was highly impressed at what they were able to get done over here. I knew at some point they were going to have to do it. I was like, man, look, all that real estate over the left side right there, you can just see the water trucks. They're just keeping this thing saturated, man. They do not want any of that tailings and dust to get up in the air. Because like I said, over to the left over there, guys, they're already doing all the construction, to build the homes. You can see the homes on the back side of their apartments and so forth. And it looks like they're under a time frame to get this stuff cleaned away. At least it doesn't look terrible, so that the construction supervisor and the construction teams can go ahead and get the approval to go ahead and start building the homes over there. So by the time the homes are built and people are ready to move in, all of this stuff should be permanently flat, filled in, and the people that live over there can actually look out and they'll just see, what'll look like a dry lake bed. And then slowly but surely, when contractors get approved and building permits get approved, who knows what they're going to build over here. But as you know, in Las Vegas, the golden rule is money buys permits, man. So they get the permits approved, they'll start building over here across the way. Maybe it'll be a plaza, maybe it'll be a park, something like that. We will just have to spend our time and come back and take a look. This is me right over here, just fast forwarding the return of my drone. And I said I stayed in the vehicle like that and just flew from inside the car so as to not raise suspicion and, you know, have people come look at me and say, what is this guy doing out there? But mission accomplished.
Alrighty guys, so we're out of that mess over there. So we're inside Lake Mead right now, or at least, yeah, we're inside the Lake Mead grounds, and the toll station to pay your fee is just right there, probably a couple 100 yards away. So no more drones are allowed in this area. And I tell you, it was kind of nerve-wracking because I was parked right out in public view and I could see the supervisor trucks going back and forth, and they're like driving really slow, looking to see what I was doing, because I stayed inside the car and I was trying to control the drone and get all the footage from inside the car without giving it away that I was kind of like filming the operation. Not that there's anything wrong with it, man, but you know, I can see how some people don't want you to film it. You know, I had some people in the geology department of UNLV give me a little bit of a background on that pit. And they were saying that the tailings in there did contain like trace elements of like arsenic and manganese. I believe those are the minerals. But they said that, you know, if that stuff got stirred around in the tailings, it could blow and people breathe that, it would be bad for you. Three Kids Mine was way, way, way out of town. I'm talking like 30, 40 miles out of town. It was, you know, nowhere, it couldn't affect nobody. But right now, look at, here's Lake Las Vegas right here. Take a look at that, right? So there's Lake Las Vegas, the community. There's the new homes moving in right there. And the mine is right there over that hill. And filling in that pit has to be done in a way that that dust, if they build up dust, it can't just blow into the neighborhoods that are nearby, creating a health hazard for the people and the residents that live so close. They should have thought about filling that pit in years before they built these homes. Now the homes are just boom right here. You know, the homes are right here, and they most definitely don't want to look out across that road and see the remnants of that mining facility with those rings and the graffiti and the garbage and the trash. They don't want to have that as their main view. So Henderson and Las Vegas had to do something, get the contractors out there to get all that stuff removed. If they're doing everything by code that they're supposed to do, then there's no reason to worry about the public coming out and having a look. You know, that's all that I'm doing, is I'm just coming out to have a look to see what they're doing, because that pit has been here since before I moved here in '84. You know what I mean? So guys, that's all I have for you folks here today. As we're back out here at the entrance of Lake Mead doing my little, you know, investigative report with the drone, sent the bird up, give you a bird's eye view of what's really going on around here. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, please do me a kindness, give me a thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't done so already. It really helps the channel and get YouTube to push the channel out there so that other people can enjoy the video. And yeah, guys, that's it. I'm Joey, you're watching VegasDtech. We're back out here at the entrance of Lake Mead, Three Kids Mine, the Vanishing Pit. Hope you guys enjoyed it. I'll catch you guys on the next video. VegasDtech Joey signing out. See you guys later. Take it easy.